Okay. Al, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now, you know, we have all of these events, and I go everywhere, and the person who I call him the wind beneath my wings is my husband. You know, he really is great. He sets up the bar, he supports me in everything that I do, and he says, you know, well, what time are you going to be home, babes?
It's called driving Miss Daisy.
So now my second favorite man, before we get to the White House. Okay, this guy I really admire, and I know all of you here tonight really admire him too. I love introducing him because we spent so much time together during the Trump campaign, traveling around the state and making a difference, right?
We definitely did.
All of us, I'm preaching to the choir right now, but we need to go out there and talk to people. Even if you talk to just one person, and it's very simple. Why are you supporting Corey Stewart? I'm going to say Corey Trump.
I'll have to talk to my mother about that.
Why are you supporting Corey Stewart? Number one, he has leadership experience. What he has done for Prince William County, he will do for the state. And there are three very important things that he did, among others, in Prince William County, and that is rolling back the illegal immigrants. Yes. And he is taking them out of this county into ours. The second thing, you know, I think we're probably going to have to move left. 30% lower property taxes in Prince William County, and it's just down the road.
That's right.
Right? And the third thing, small businesses. He made it number one in the state and number 3 in the country for small business. Yes. And then the thing that I believe sets him apart from the other candidate is his support and loyalty for our president. From day one. That is huge. Because we, the other candidate, or the one who's viable, zipped his lip, never spoke in support of Mr. Trump, and still to this day doesn't. Never campaigned for him. Corey did it at his own expense. He put aside his own campaign in order to do it. And so we believe that God is going to bless him and make him governor of the great state of Virginia.
That's right.
Yes. Okay, you have the floor.
Okay. Well, I don't think I've ever given a speech from such a beautiful location, Al. And you've done all the work out here, from what I understand, right?
Well, a bit of it.
Okay. I don't want to make it. I never want to make it. I never want to make Alice mad. But first of all, what's that? Yeah, that's right. First of all, it's just I can't even really remember the first time I met Alice, but I remember the first time somebody told me about Alice. And they said as soon as, actually it wasn't Donald Trump himself, it was somebody very close. And after, you know, I met with Donald Trump, Maria and I went to meet with Donald Trump. Where's Maria, by the way? Right there. My wife of 22 years, my wife Maria. So we went down to, I remember getting the call from somebody in the Trump campaign. This was December, early December, late November of 2015. And we got a call from the Trump campaign, and they said, hey, Chairman Stewart, do you want to go meet with Donald Trump? And I thought it was like a joke. And I said, who is this? You know, but anyway, you know, I said, of course I'd love to meet with him. And they said, oh, come on down. You know, well, he's having a rally down in Manassas at the Prince William County Fairgrounds. And I said, okay, great. And right beforehand, you'll have a chance to meet with him. So we went back there, and Maria was with me, and we waited for him. And they introduced me to Donald Trump, and they said, Mr. Trump, this is Corey Stewart. We've asked him to chair your campaign in Virginia. And meanwhile, Maria, now I don't know if you remember this all, but back then there was this big debate about what color was Donald Trump's hair. What color was his hair? Was it real? And all this other stuff. And so as I'm talking to Donald Trump, and Maria's right there next to me, and she's checking out his hair the whole time. Anyway, it was kind of funny. But he asked me to chair his campaign, and initially I honestly said, "Sir, I'm very honored that you would ask me to do this, but you have to understand that I live in a very diverse county, and you're not exactly real popular right now." And I told him to square to his face, and that things are going to be kind of tough. And I knew that as soon as I made that decision to support his campaign and to chair his campaign, that there was going to be, it was like crossing over the Rubicon. It was going to be very, very hard. There's no turning back. But I did it. And the reason I did is this. When we were done with our conversation and they led Mr. Trump into the building there, the bigger building, how many of you were there, by the way?
I was, yeah.
Wow, a lot of you. And I had never seen anything like that. Ever. And I've been in politics. I know a lot of you have been in politics. How long have you been in politics?
Me?
How many? Pioneer? Pioneer in Republican politics. I mean, so many of you have been involved in Republican politics for years and years and years. For me, it was helping to run a Republican congressional race and in Minnesota. Yes, the liberals like to say I'm from Minnesota. We'll talk about that later. But in 1988. But I had never seen that level of enthusiasm ever for any Republican candidate, any candidate, period. And that's when I knew, and I think all of us knew, that there was something special going on, that there's a momentous change that's going on. It's still going on.
Still happening.
It's still happening. And when we won that day, I mean, what a beautiful day that was. What a beautiful day that was. One of the biggest issues that Donald Trump mentioned that day was the issue of we have to build the wall. Remember?
Yes.
And, somebody who I want to introduce who's very, very important is someone that, they remind us of how important this issue is. And, the liberals always like to talk about, well, these poor illegal immigrants, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Hey, look, folks, they're in our country illegally, and many of them are committing crimes against our families, and we are going to do something about that under the Trump administration.
That's right. That's right.
So, there are a lot of families out there who are grieving. They're grieving. They're grieving in Prince William County. They're grieving in Fairfax, where MS-13 has abducted and assaulted and murdered teenage girls. And they're doing it across the state. And it's not just in Northern Virginia. It's not just the Hampton Roads. It happened 6 weeks ago in Lynchburg with an illegal alien gang, MS-13, 3 of those gang members, previous convictions, previously arrested for prior crimes, instead of being deported, which they should have been. They were released back into our community. Long Island and everywhere else across this country, folks. So they go down to Lynchburg, and they abduct a 17-year-old boy. And we have some young people here, so I'm not going to say exactly what they did, but they murdered him. And that could have been averted. That could have been prevented if we had been doing our jobs as elected officials, as local governments, as state governments. And let me just say this. When I'm governor of the Commonwealth, if somebody is in the Commonwealth illegally and they commit a crime, we're going to identify them and we are going to deport them so they never again threaten our families. And And I want to, at this point, I want to make a quick introduction. That she may be speaking. I'm not sure, but I wanted to introduce Maria Espinoza right over here. She's helping with the administration now and with the organization, which is called now the Remembrance Project, and that is to help all those families who have been victims of crimes committed by illegal aliens. So thank you very much, Maria, for all of your work. So, look, it's not the only issue, but it's a very important issue to me. And there are a couple other candidates out there who talk about things, but you know what? Talk is cheap, folks. Talk is very, very cheap. I've been in the ground, I've been in the gutter for 10 years fighting this thing. And I've been vilified by it, and I have never backed down. And I never will. So others talk, I deliver. When others talk about doing something about illegal immigration, I led the nation's toughest crackdown on illegal immigration anywhere in the United States 10 years ago, and it's still in place today. We have problems with taxes. You know, Virginia is very blessed in so many ways. We have a great defense sector. We have a very large federal presence in Virginia, not just Northern Virginia, but throughout the state and also in Hampton Roads. But we've become overly dependent upon it. And as that sector has shrunk, we felt the impacts here in Virginia. And if we want to continue to prosper in the Commonwealth of Virginia, we've got to do our part to attract new businesses, to grow new businesses. And every year we're losing about 10,000 manufacturing jobs alone. And they're going to places like North Carolina. You know why they're going there? Because they have lower taxes. And North Carolina, which had a tax rate of 7.75% in 2010, just 7 years ago, as of January 1st, they've reduced that tax rate today to 5.49%. Wow. Think about that. My competitor says he's going to decrease taxes. But do you know how much he's proposing to cut in spending? Zero. Nothing. Let me tell you something about governing the second largest county in the state for 10 years and delivering a tax cut. You cannot cut taxes without cutting spending. You have to cut spending. That's what I've been able to do. $185 million out of our base budget. We cut tax bills by an average of $400 in a single year. And to this day, as Alice said, our tax bills here in Prince William County are 30% lower than the average tax bills in Loudoun and Fairfax County. And that is a tax plan that I want to deliver for Virginia. We're going to cut taxes, the income tax rate in Virginia by 17% in a single year, saving Virginians thousands of dollars and drawing businesses and jobs back into Virginia instead of leaving the Commonwealth. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up, and this is all I want to say. Winnability is everything. I understand that. And Ed is out there talking about how he can win. But folks, he ran in 2014. You could put Bugs Bunny up for election as a Republican in 2014 and they would have won. Republicans won in Illinois. They won statewide in Massachusetts. They won statewide in Maryland. And we lost in Virginia. We lost in Virginia with Ed the Loser Gillespie as our candidate. He's a nice guy. I don't like to make fun of him, although I kind of like it.
Yeah, because I do.
Tell me about it.
But the truth is, this is a very serious race, folks. If we lose this, we will never win again.
Yeah, that's right.
We will never win again, and we've got to win this race. So if you're looking for somebody who's not won, not just one time, I'm the only Republican who's won countywide in Northern Virginia. Prince William County, 500,000 people, a 60% Democratic district. Not just once, not just twice, but 4 times. So if you're looking for somebody who's going to stand up for our values, who's never, ever, ever, ever going to apologize, never going to cower down, never going to break his promises, someone who's going to stand up to the left, someone who's going to cut spending, cut taxes, crack down on illegal immigration, stand up for our heritage and our history, and turn Virginia red, then I'm your candidate. Let's take back Virginia.
Yeah.